Now that we've played with primitives and fills and such for a while, and strokes, it'd be more exciting to go on to some of the other tools. So we are going to need to create some new keyframes for these new tools. So I'm going to go to keyframe 10, or frame 10, and I want to select just the top two layers, just by clicking and dragging there. Now it is selecting everything, but we're going to right-click and choose Insert Blank Keyframe. You'll see that everything disappears, and we're left with a blank keyframe. Now, with frame 5 here, you'll notice that I have information which is just that little text that says primitives, and I'd really like to have that same information here. Now there's a couple different ways to do it. One way to do it is to copy the keyframe. Another way to do it is to copy and paste the text. So let's try that just to see what happens. I'm going to select the text, use Control-C, or right-click and choose Copy. Then I'm going to go to frame 10 and click on that layer for the task layer, and right-click and choose either Paste or Paste in Place. What Paste does is paste that particular object that I selected to the very center of my view. What Paste in Place does is make sure that it goes back in its original location where it was. Now you can also access these, of course, through shortcuts. So you'll see that we have our regular Paste in Center is regular paste, that's Control V, but Paste in Place is Control Shift V. And that's a really important thing to be aware of. Now we also have Paste Special, which is kind of nice. We have different things here that we can do. I've never really used that, but it is an option. The one that I use often is the Paste in Place, the Control Shift V, and that's why I wanted to show that. You'll now notice that that keyframe is turned black, and now we can change this to the new tools that we're going to be using, which is going to be the line tools. So I'll just call it lines. And now I can click off of it, click on the drawings layer, and we're ready to go on. With this, I'm going to go to the line tool, choose my standard setting that I want. Right now it's just a regular stroke color, and I could change. Let's see, I don't know if I can change the preset, but we'll see. I'm just going to click and drag. Now, drawing lines can be very easy with the line tool. You just click and drag and it creates a line. What's interesting is when you cross these lines. The reason why is because these lines will automatically, when you're in shape drawing mode, which you do want to make sure that you're in, these lines will automatically attach to each other and create new intersections. So click on some of those intersections and remove the objects that are there, and you'll see that you've created an intersecting object that you could now fill later, which is really quite cool. So experiment with crossing your lines in different ways to create new objects. And just click on it one time to select the lines that are on the outside. And you'll see that you can create some really unique objects in Flash using this method. Well, this also works with fills too. If I go to the rectangle tool, not the rectangle primitive tool, the rectangle tool, and I click and drag, making a shape here. Now the shape does have some pretty fancy fills because of what we've been doing before. I can take a line tool and cut that shape into individual sides. And I'm going to click and select the side here, and then select all the lines on that one side and move it over. And you'll see that we've cut that shape using the line tool. So it can be quite amazing what you can do with lines. Go ahead and experiment with intersecting lines and cutting shapes with lines just to see what you can come up with, so that you demonstrate playing around with that tool. And then we're going to go on to the next tool, which is going to be our pen tool. I should point out though that our pencil tool can do the same thing, but our pencil tool is kind of awkward to use. I don't generally like to use it. One of the cool things about the pencil tool is that if you get really good at it, you can draw some stuff pretty quick. Now you do have some options for smooth, and it can work, but I don't really like the tool. So I usually use straight edges.